Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a new video about a couple of different things. First one is kind of a topic change for this channel. I started out kind of focusing solely on the crossfire injection that came in these cars and Corvettes, but I kind of figured after owning 16 of these cars over the last 20 plus years, I'd kind of want to make a shift toward including the just the third generation F-body in general. You know, little how-to videos, you know, kind of historical type stuff, production numbers, options, stuff like that, and also product reviews, which leads me to this. Couple months back, right before summer, I bought an aftermarket ABS T-top headliner from one of the restoration companies. I'm not going to say which company it was, but there's only a couple companies out there that make them. But initially I had no problems with it whatsoever. The fit was actually better than 90% of the reviews out there. The big complaint with these is the overhang or overlap in the T-top openings. It's like the openings in the T-tops, the T-top cutouts in the headliner are smaller than the actual T-top opening on the car. Fortunately, I didn't have that problem with this, but the problems I did have kind of aggravated me a little bit for the money that you spend on one of these things. First thing is, and this is kind of a given, but on the factory headliners that were originally installed in these cars, there's a couple of small plastic clips that retain it to the, basically right behind the windshield. It just keeps the headliner up, keeps it from sagging and whatnot. That's not a big deal. I went ahead and just plastic welded. I got some of the reproduction clips from one of the companies out there. I think it was Camaro Central, but I got a couple of the clips and just plastic welded them to the headliner. I mean, it's strong. You could pick the headliner up with them. You know, it's not going anywhere. The issue that still aggravates me is I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and this car is 6 days out of the week, it's a daily driver. In the summertime, it gets to be close to 120 degrees out here. The car sits outside when it's at work. The sun and the heat beating through the T-top glass, etc. It gets hot inside the car. That being said, when probably about 3 months after I put this headliner in, I started noticing when I had the T-tops off, I was starting to see this. The material was actually pulling away from the ABS board itself. You can see in the back here, I mean, it's literally just, there's nothing. I mean, they hardly used any glue on this thing. I'm not really sure why. For $200 and something, you would think it would be glued on a little bit better, especially as tightly as this material is pulled around all the curves and lips and everything on the headliner itself, on the headliner board itself. But I mean, there's like no glue on this thing. So what I did was I took it out, and using my 67 Chevelle as a workbench, basically bit by bit I'm going along this thing, and more or less everywhere it contacts the headliner on the back side, I'm going along with 80 grit sandpaper and scuffing it up and applying the amount of glue that should be on this thing to hold it. I've recovered these headliners many times, factory ones, both T-top and hardtop. Never had a problem with this. And it's something that I did notice when I put the headliner in there, but foolishly I kind of overlooked it and, you know, figured, hey, for that kind of money it'll hold. I was wrong. But anyway, I'm going bit by bit around here. I mean, look at this. This is This is as it just came out of the car. And if you look on here, obviously the plastic is molded completely smooth. There's nothing really, for the very little amount of glue they use, to bite to. So that's why I'm going around scuffing it up with sandpaper. Paint doesn't stick to a smooth surface, neither does glue. So I'm going around and scuffing it up with just a little piece of 80, and I'm going around and gluing it back with this. This is what I've always used for headliners. You can get it at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or CarQuest, Napa, anything like that. It's like 15 bucks. It's more than plenty to do even a hardtop headliner on one of these cars. You know, other than that, I mean, I have no issues with it. This car is a factory charcoal interior car. It's an '83 Trans Am. The color was dead on. It's 100% correct. The material is good quality, everything. It's just not glued on. So that being said, any of you guys wanting to, you know, pick up one of these ABS headliners for one of these cars, you know, if your original headliner board is non-existent or not worth repairing, you know, like I said, I have no issues at all with the fitment of this thing. The only thing, you know, unfortunately, I mean, it took me about 10 minutes to do it, is plastic welding these clips on. And what I did was, once the headliner was down in the front, I pulled the sun visors down, the rearview mirror and stuff. Once the headliner was hanging down in the front, I slipped these clips up into the holes where they go on the body of the car, right behind the windshield. Once they were in there, I took a brush with a little dab of grease and just dabbed the grease on the face of the clip that would ordinarily face the headliner board, or normally face the headliner board. Then I just took the headliner itself and pushed it up into the clips, and where it made contact is where I plastic welded the clips. I already test fitted it before I started re-gluing this thing, and it fits perfect. Clips go right in there and holds it up like it should, just like the factory. But this is basically just kind of a heads up to anybody that, you know, that's thinking of buying one of these and, you know, kind of reading bad reviews and everything like that online. Maybe I got, you know, a good one as far as, like I said, as far as the fit goes. But I highly recommend, if you live in a hot climate like Arizona, parts of California, etc., to do what I'm doing before you even put it in the car, and just go along and check all this. Because if you look on here, I mean, there's not even a 1/4 inch of glue holding this down. You know, but like I said, it's I kind of wanted to you know, kind of shift the focus of this channel. Like I said, I've had 16 of these cars over the last 20 plus years, and I don't know, it's just, they're my go-to car. I've had 68, 69 Chargers, I've had Barracudas, you know, a lot of Mopars, muscle car era Mopars, about almost a dozen A-body Darts, you know, 68 Chevelle, 67 Chevelle, I mean, you name it, I've had it. Fox, even into this era, Fox body Mustangs, I've had 6 of them. I always go back to these cars. I just, it's under a cover now, but I LS swapped my 67 Chevelle a little over 2 years ago, and the car 90% of the time sits under a cover like this. I would rather drive this. Call it crazy, call it stupid, but you know, it's just one of those cars where, if not this one, I'll own them probably for the rest of my life if gas is still around to drive them. But you know, this getting back to the headliner, you know, that's pretty much what I wanted to go over and cover. Aside from that, you know, like I said, if you guys have any kind of requests or questions, as far as, like, you know, because I'm a big numbers guy. I like the history of these cars. I like the options of these cars. I like the packages that they could have come with. You know, production numbers, you know, all that stuff. I just, you know, I've been into it for a long time, and I know these cars front to back, top to bottom. I know every bolt, clip, wire, everything that holds them together. You know, I've stripped them down to a bare empty shell. This one I painted in this garage actually about 1.5 years ago. You know, and kind of went through it and everything. I went through the interior and stuff, and it, you know, I mean, like I said, for a daily driver, it's not horrible. You know, there's worse ways to get around town, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I just wanted to make another video and kind of review the aftermarket ABS T-top headliner. And you know, if you guys got any questions or anything, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and I plan to make a lot more videos in the near future. Like I said, more focused on the Thirdgen F-body. Not so much the Camaros, but the Firebirds and Trans Ams, because that's all I've owned. I've never owned a third-gen Camaro. It's always been the you know, the Firebirds and Trans Ams. That's all I've had. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, like I said, comment. Feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram, and we'll go from there, and I'll get some more videos coming.